The community may have heard that we were recently in mediation with Chris Hill and the lands at Burtch, and I do want to provide information on the on what was discussed in that mediation, but we are going to be doing that via press release, and it's not finalized yet, and I'm just waiting for the staff to finalize that, and as soon as that is done, we will put it on our websites and on our social media so you can watch it there. So that will be a press release, an update on the mediation surrounding Burtch. The next issue I want to talk about is speeding. There's still a lot of speeding in our community and in Ohsweken, and we've had a lot of complaints about it. So please slow down when you're driving, and especially when you're in the village. The Commonwealth Games. At the invitation of the Canada Commonwealth Games, representatives of 6 nations attended the Commonwealth Games at the Gold Coast in Australia. The representatives who attended included myself, Kevin Sandy, and 2 representatives of the Sky Dancers. The Canada Commonwealth Games cost-shared the expenses for these individuals, and 2 other individuals joined us at their own expense. We were involved in the Indigenous welcoming ceremony, which was held on April 1st. This included cultural performances by Indigenous peoples from the various Commonwealth countries around the world. We were welcomed by the Yungambe elders, who presented us with a fire stick, their own cultural performance, and a traditional meal. We also attended the opening ceremonies of the Commonwealth Games and witnessed the participation of the Indigenous people of Australia in those games. What they did was the traditional opening, which was basically a smudging of a whole stadium of about 50,000 people. It was a long opening, and it was very emotional for us to be there to witness it. It was also interesting to note that all of the speakers, including the president of the Commonwealth Games, the local chair of the Games, and Prince Charles, who was representing the Queen, all mentioned reconciliation with Indigenous peoples when they spoke. We were told that the presentation that Kevin Sandy and I made at the Commonwealth Games conference in Edmonton in October 26 made a significant contribution to the planning people in the Gold Coast to make sure that the Indigenous people were included in the planning and the participation in these games. We were also hosted by the Indigenous Planning Committee at a barbecue, and we had the opportunity to sit and talk and meet their elders from Northern Australia and also the Indigenous volunteers. Meetings were also held with an organization from the United Kingdom called Beyond Sports, and we also met with the Chief Executive Officer of the Commonwealth Games International and representatives of the Olympic committees from the Cayman Islands and St. Vincent. And we are talking about a potential conference which is going to highlight reconciliation with Indigenous peoples through sports. This is an exciting event, and the CEO of the Commonwealth Games wants 6 nations involved, and we're hoping to have a working group meeting in August and leading to a declaration about including Indigenous people and having reconciliation with them through sports. So it was a wonderful trip, and it was a good opportunity to ensure that 6 Nations is on the map in the international world of sports, and I think I can safely say that we are. And I just want to thank all those who attended and took part.